Hey everybody, I just wanted to hop on here. I'm getting ready to make some beer bread, and I make this when I'm kind of in a pinch and I don't have time to do a yeast bread. This is super simple and super fast. It can start to finish is about an hour. It's pretty much a no knead bread, so it does use beer in it. The alcohol does bake out, so if you don't like alcohol, I mean, just know that it bakes out, so it's not that big a deal. It just is kind of the leavening, help it rise and whatnot. The beer is not too terribly important, but I will say a friend of mine used like Blue Moon, and I believe that has like an orange kind of flavor in it. She said the bread was horrible, so you want to make sure you just get kind of a basic bread. I just use what my husband drinks, just this. And if you don't drink beer, you might just go ahead and watch for a sale for one of the really cheap beers, because the beer does not affect the taste unless it, like I say, unless it has an additive of an orange or whatever kind of other flavor in it. So anyway, it's super simple. So I will get started and show you how to do it. Let me kind of adjust this so we can see what we're doing. And it starts off with 3 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, like I say, this is super simple. 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, and I just put it in because I don't measure nothing, and a quarter to a half a cup of sugar. Then I just kind of mix all this up. Just get it mixed up really well before I add the beer. And of course I make a mess because that's what I do. So I got the flour pretty well mixed up. And then you'll add your can of beer. I kind of add it in parts. I'd add a little bit and kind of mix it, about half of it. Kind of mix it up a little bit. And you don't really have to knead it. I do at the end mix it with my hand just because I get a better mix with it, because you want to make sure all that flour is incorporated. I don't know that I would use a mixer. I think that would kind of be too much for the gluten. And I mean, there's no point in getting a mixer out for just this little tiny bit either. So get all the beer in it. Mix it up really well. You don't want any dry flour showing. And then you're going to put it in a greased pan. You can either put it in a greased pan or a pan with parchment paper, and I've done both. It falls out so easily that I don't use the parchment paper anymore, just because I don't want to waste it. And you will want to melt half a stick of butter, because you will. And on the butter, you can use either from a quarter cup to a half a cup, just depending on how crunchy you want the top. And you honestly don't even have to have the butter if you don't want to. Just the butter puts a crunchy top on it, a crusty top, and I love crusty bread. I mean, I like yeast bread, but after it's cooled down and whatnot, it's all right. But this stuff I can eat all the time, and this stuff makes absolutely wonderful toast. So you'll see how it's still really wet, and that's what you want. So let me clean off my hands. Let me wash my hands right quick. Then I have my pan already greased. I sprayed it, so I'll just put it in the pan. And then you just kind of tap it down. Just kind of push it down like that. And like I say, I like the bread real crusty, so I go ahead and I use the whole a whole stick of butter, half cup, and then just pour that butter just all over the top of it. Put it all in there. And throw it in a 375 to 400 degree oven. And it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. You'll want to check it at about 45 minutes. Put a knife in it and see if it comes out clean. When it comes out clean, then it's done. Here is one that I did a little bit earlier. I didn't check it in time, so it did get a little brown on top, but it's still way good. But you can see how crusty and crunchy it is, and it cuts really nicely too. So I'll just get through that top layer, and it's just a really pretty bread, and it is so yummy. So I'll post the recipe down below, and I'll also have it on my blog if y'all are interested in trying it. So if you try it, let me know what you think of it. So I will talk at y'all later.